Let's look at some election news.
Weeks of robust campaigning in the Western Cape is the one metro which the ANC does not control, and the ruling party wants it badly. It believes it's made significant inroads in DA strongholds.
We have reached a stage where we have witnessed that we can never allow our people to live in the conditions that they live in. When they have simply been promised paradise, that is something that exists in the imaginations of those who are actually in power.
COPE in the Northern Cape opened a case of malicious damage to property against the SACP. This after several of its posters were defaced last night.
This is a conduct that must not be allowed in a democracy, because in a democracy we've got people have got fair competition. There must be fair competition.
The APC took its campaign to impoverished areas of Thokoza on the East Rand.
They are overlooked by everybody. They've been neglected for the past 10-15 years. They've been staying here, and you can see it's almost as if they don't belong to any municipality in this country.
And that goes to the heart of the problem. People at local level, often forgotten, frequently downtrodden and desperately poor. Tsolofelo Matibedi, SABC News.
Despite a looming local government election, service delivery protests continue unabated. This morning it was the turn of Missionvale in the backyard of the fiercely contested Nelson Mandela Bay Metro. The metro services a population of just over 1.5 million people. It includes Port Elizabeth, Uitenhage and Dispatch.
A groundswell of anger. This the consequence of protest. Missionvale, an impoverished enclave. It lacks potable water, electricity and other basic services.
It's less than 2 weeks to go before people go to the polls to vote for change and the basic services that they so desperately need. Yet protests like this are an indication of their impatience and a lack of confidence in what their vote will bring.
I believe that voters must take responsibility. They have the power, they have the vote. They put politicians into power, and if those politicians abused their power and were corrupt, then voters have the responsibility to vote them out.
In recent weeks, the ANC has engaged in vigorous campaigning here.
We are confident that the ANC is going to retain the metro of Nelson Mandela. There is no doubt in our mind that we are going all out to retain the majority of this metropolitan council. But on a case-by-case basis, the ANC is not opposed in entering into coalition with other parties.
Smaller parties too could become instant kingmakers in a coalition.
Yes, the Freedom Front policy is that we believe in coalitions, and we believe Nelson Mandela Metropole will be a coalition after the election. There's no doubt in my mind. If you look at the statistics, the ANC had 50% at the previous election. The DA, the second party, had only 28%. So from 28 to 50 is a long way.
More energetic and brisk campaigning is expected in the next 2 weeks. Janine Lee, SABC News, Port Elizabeth.
Zimbabwean Prime Minister Morgan Tsvangirai says elections will not be held this year. He was speaking to the SABC on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Cape Town. Tsvangirai says conditions in Zimbabwe are still not conducive for elections.
No, it's not going to happen. In fact, everyone is agreed. We have the negotiators. We have agreed on the benchmarks and that roadmap. A few disputed areas where the facilitator has to unlock. And it's all agreed. It can't help this year.